Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Tittle Tattle Tarot. Today's reading, I would just like to get the energy on Casey Anthony's mother, Cindy Anthony. I'm not going into the actual documentary, Peacock documentary. I'm not going to look at murder. I'm not going to look at anything like that. All I want to know from the cards and see if they will tell me whether Cindy Anthony ever had any kind of feeling or any kind of indication that her husband George was being inappropriate. I've got to be very careful what I say, but whether there was any essay going on towards her daughter, what actually had been happening. Was she ever feeling that something very inappropriate was going on, either from her husband or her son towards her daughter Casey? That's really the energy that I want to get. What were her thoughts and feelings? And that's as far as I'm going with this. Was she ever in a situation where she had a feeling that something very inappropriate was happening? So let's just see. I've been shuffling these for a little while now, so I'm just going to let the cards fall as they will. So I'd just like to get the energy around Cindy Anthony and the situation with her daughter, her husband, and her son. You've got a flip there. Five of Wands in reverse. Okay, let's put a few. Immediately we've got a battling card. I always see the Five of Wands and another one. We've got another reversal there. Three of Swords. I always see the Five of Wands as an argument and battles in the family. You know, I always see it as kind of domestic rather than, anything outside the home. So we've got three reversals here. It's quite interesting. Let's have a look. Okay, so the Five of Wands came up first, which is the battling card. This wasn't a happy family home. None of these indicate that this is happy families. The Five of Wands in the upright, yeah, it's butting heads, that constant niggle. Do it this way, do it that way. Just that real unpleasant digging energy. It's not like a swords serious kind of stabby energy. It's not really serious fighting, but it's very destructive. It will wear you down, this kind of biting and niggling and fighting within a family. So we've got it up the other way, which for me, I'm kind of thinking this is just the way family life was. Sometimes you think, oh, well, when it's in reverse, it's like, oh, let's just let it go. Just let it go and let it all just, settle down, and we're going to stop this bickering. I don't see it as that. I see this as being basically, this is the way life is in this family. Everybody's fighting, everybody's backbiting. That is just the way it is. That's family life in this household. In the Anthony household, we're always niggling and fighting and backbiting. The next one that came up was the Three of Swords, which again, it's a heartbreak card. Three really miserable cards here. Three of Swords, I mean, even the right way up, we've just got this pain of, having been betrayed and stabbed through the heart. Basically, a very emotional card, very emotional. You've been really injured by what someone has said. The swords are the words, and very, very hurtful words. Up the other way again, that's the kind of energy I'm getting off this. This was always a very the kind of household where insults were just traded. Insults were traded and words were very cutting. And that's just the way it was. That's the way it is. And it was just normal. It was normal in that household. It was a very verbal, very cutting, very sarcastic kind of home. And then the Ace of Wands in reverse. And Ace of Wands, that should be lovely, positive energy, passionate, going ahead onto a new start with full of passion and full of enthusiasm, having all these ideas and plans and, very positive cards in the upright. We're in reverse. And it's kind of, will this ever end? This won't ever end. It's loss of passion. It just seems like the energy in this house just drained everyone. They're living together, but oh, how dreadful. I mean, what a not a nice environment to live in. So that doesn't really tell me very much. It gives me a background of what it was like in that house, and I don't dispute that at all. I can imagine that it would be that kind of atmosphere. This wasn't happy families. You had a daughter that was constantly lying, constantly stealing, a pregnancy that was covered up until basically couldn't be covered up anymore, from what I understand. I haven't seen the Netflix. I'm in the UK, and this isn't something that I've followed, but I just wanted to see what the cards would say. So was the mother aware of any SA? Again, I need to be careful, any abuse of that kind of nature towards her daughter from her husband or her son, Kayla's brother, which has been alleged. Was she ever aware of anything? Okay, let's take these. We've got the Hermit and we've got the Ten of Swords. These are both upright. The Hermit is, I see this as knowing something, shining a light on something. Being stabbed in the back. Do you know what? I think she had an inkling. I think she had an inkling that something was going on, but she never voiced it and never said anything, which is a vile thing for a mother to do. The Hermit, it just tells me that she knew she'd in some way had this situation spotlighted to her, whether it was just a feeling that she had, or whether she had been aware of maybe something happening at night or something like that. But whether it was just in the back of her mind or whether it was more than that, she was aware. She had that knowledge. She had the knowledge that something was going on. And she felt totally betrayed by it. This version of the Ten of Swords, there were two versions of the Ten of Swords within this Tarot of the Abyss, and this is one that I chose, of the owl, the wise owl and the wise man just looking at each other, knowing the situation and trying to work out how to deal with it so they can move on. Ten of Swords is a completion. The other version was somebody lying on a jetty with all the swords in their back, just a traditional sort of Rider-Waite image, lying prone with all these swords in their back. And I think that she knew. Unfortunately, I do. And I think something was happening. That does not excuse the lies. It does not excuse all the deceitful behavior. It doesn't make that behavior right, but it makes it a little bit more understandable. So why did she keep this to herself? And why is she still with this man? You would have thought, even if you just had an inkling that something was going on, you would have left. But she's still there. She's still there. So why? Why would you remain with a man who you even suspect would do such a thing to your daughter? And why would you stay quiet over your son possibly doing something? I've got quite a few flips here. So let's just have a look, see what's come out. And again, we've got some reversals here. I'm just going to let the whole lot go. See if we can get anything from this. And again, what a selection we've got here. This is one dark reading. We've got Temperance in reverse. Temperance, the right way up again. It's lovely energy. It's very balanced. It's loving. It's given. It's take, and very earthed energy. We're up the other way. Temperance. There's no emotion about this. This is a very cold. She's very cold over it. She seems to have known what was going on, but she's closed her heart to it. And the Magician, again, cover up. It's all deception and cover up. Why the cover up? Because the lies. There's so many lies in this family. Not least the mother and the lies about I didn't know anything was going on. Of course, nothing would be going on. My husband wouldn't do that. My son wouldn't do that. Whether she admits that to other people or just sort of keeps that to herself, and tries to fool herself. But this is a deception card. The Hanged One. Now again, we're up the other way. So the Hanged One, the right way up. You take a step back, you do the right thing, you look at things from a new perspective and you think, oh my God, this is really mucked up. What can I do to put this right? Well, what you would do if you suspected this is you would make it right either by leaving, taking your daughter away from the situation, addressing the situation head on. I mean, that would be what the Hanged One would do. They take a step back, look at it, make a decision and move on and rectify what's gone wrong. But we're up the other way, which to me kind of indicates knowing something's wrong but doing nothing about it. Not learning from the mistake, not tackling it, so brushing it under the carpet, which seems to be the way with this family. Nothing really gets acknowledged. The pregnancy wasn't acknowledged. So many lies, so much deception. And then the Awakening, which is Judgment, and it's in reverse. I think that she was so worried about gossip. I think there was an awful lot with this family that was what will the neighbours think? What will people think? So we've got to put on this act of everything's fine. Everything was far from fine. Nothing was fine within this family. These are terrible cards, absolutely horrible cards. And the Awakening, the Judgment. I mean, quite often with Judgment, Archangel Gabriel, she blows the horn, and you're called to account for what you've done, and it can be a very positive card. We've got this in the reverse. She's being held to account for doing nothing because she didn't want to be judged by the neighbors. She didn't want to be known as the woman whose husband was doing XYZ. She didn't want to be known as, the wife in the family that broke apart. I think that Cindy Anthony knew an awful lot. And I wonder how much of a narcissist her husband is and how much fear she has from him. What would he do to her if she actually came clean and said, I did know that something was going on. So I'm not touching anything to do with the actual murder, anything to do with that accidental death, whatever happened there. I'm not going there. I'm just going into Cindy Anthony and what she knew. And according to these cards, she knew. She did know. And shame on her. She did nothing. She kept it all to herself and did nothing and continues to do nothing. So that is my opinion. That is what the cards are telling me. And I'll be back soon with another one, hopefully on a brighter subject. But I hope you enjoyed this one. Thank you. Bye-bye.